acting class, Showcase. My name is Bridget Connor-Feldbaum. I work in administration for the Livingston Parish Library, and I was the instructor for this course. This program, Creative Aging, is part of a nationwide initiative to create participatory arts programs for seniors in libraries. And this is the first Creative Aging class that Livingston Parish Library has offered. Our class met for eight sessions over 6 weeks, and most of the participants had no previous acting experience. We worked on voice, movement, emotions, characters, scene work, and improvisation, and I was very impressed by their willingness to jump right in and try new things. They are a group of intelligent, creative, kind, and funny people who I've truly enjoyed working with, and I hope to do so again in the future. So tonight we've prepared staged readings of several short pieces showcasing their talents. This is just a small glimpse of the work we did together in class, but we hope you enjoy it. And if you take a minute to look at your program, you'll see that there's a survey attached to the back of it. So it would be really helpful for us at the library if you could take a minute to fill out the survey after the program is finished, not during. And so until then, you can just sit back and relax and enjoy the show. So we have at the library coming up, we have our summer reading program, of course, for kids, but I also wanted to mention that we have one for, we have a separate one for teens, and we also have one for adults. So please, everyone, look into that. It should be a lot of fun this summer, and we have lots of great programs going on this summer, too. The newsletter should be out soon. So first, we have been looking at acting as a form of storytelling in class. And so to open tonight, we're going to open with a poem by the great Southern writer Robert Penn Warren, who, among other things, wrote All the King's Men. But this is a poem that he wrote called Tell Me a Story.
Long ago in Kentucky, I, a boy, stood by a dirt road in first dark and heard the great geese hoot northward.
I could not see them, there being no moon and sparse stars. I heard them.
I did not know what was happening in my heart. It was the season before the elderberry blooms. Therefore, they were going north.
Sound was passing northward.
Tell me
a story.
In this century and moment of mania, tell me a story.
Make it a story of great distances and starlight.
The name of the story will be Time, but you must not pronounce its name.
Tell me a story of deep delight.
So now we're going to present a series of dramatic monologues and scenes, and I just want to say I was very impressed with their willingness to dive right into some deep drama here, some classic plays. So the first piece is from Eugene O'Neill's Long Day's Journey into Night, and if you haven't read it, this is a play about a very unhappy family in Connecticut in the early 1900s, and O'Neill based it on his own life. And in this scene, Mary Tyrone, who will be played by Elizabeth Coody, has been battling her addiction to morphine, and she's talking to her servant, Kathleen, about how she met her first husband back in happier times.
If you think Mr. Tyrone is handsome now, Kathleen, you should have seen him when I first met him. He had the reputation of being one of the best-looking men in the country. The girls in the convent who had seen him act or seen his photographs used to rave about him. He was a great matinee idol, you know. Women used to wait at the stage door just to see him. You can imagine how excited I was when my father wrote me he and James Tyrone had become friends. and that I was to meet him when I came home for Easter vacation. I showed the letter to all the girls. How envious they were. My father took me to see him act first. It was a play about the French Revolution, and the leading part was a nobleman. I couldn't take my eyes off him. I wept when they threw him in prison, and then was so mad at myself because I was afraid my eyes and nose would be red. My father had said we'd go backstage to his dressing room right after the play, and so we did. I was so bashful. All I could do was stammer and blush like a little fool. But he didn't think me to be a fool. I know he liked me the first moment we were introduced. I guess my eyes and nose couldn't have been red. After all, I was really very pretty then, Kathleen. And he was handsomer than my wildest dreams. In his makeup, in his nobleman's costume that were so becoming to him. He was different from all ordinary men, like someone from another world. At the same time, he was simple and kind and unassuming and not a bit stuck up or vain. I fell in love right then. So did he told me later. I forgot all about becoming a nun or a concert pianist. All I wanted was to become his wife. Well, 36 years ago. But I can see it as clearly as if it were tonight. We've loved each other ever since. In all those 36 years, there was never a breath of scandal about him. I mean, with other women. This has made me very happy, Kathleen. It has made me forgive so many other things.
Next is another monologue from the same play, Long Day's Journey into Night, slightly later in the play. In this scene, the same character, Mary Tyrone, will be played by Barbara Gill, and she's talking to her husband. The two of them often fight, but now she's trying to remind him of their wedding. What you want?
Do you remember our wedding, dear? I'm sure you've completely forgotten my wedding looked like in my wedding dress. Men don't notice such things. They don't think that's important. But it was important to me, I can tell you, how I fussed and worried. I was so excited and happy. My father told me to buy anything I wanted and never mind what it cost. The best is none too good for me, he said. I'm afraid he spoiled me dreadfully. My mother didn't. She was pious and strict, and I think she was a little jealous. She didn't approve of my marrying, especially an actor. I think she hoped I would become a nun. She used to scold my father. She'd grumble, "You never tell me never mind what it costs when I'm buying anything. You spoil that girl so. I pity my husband if she ever marries. She'll expect him to give her the moon. She'll never make a good wife." Poor mother. But she was mistaken, wasn't she, James? I haven't been such a bad wife, have I? At least I've loved you dearly and done the best I could under the circumstances. That wedding gown was nearly the death of me, and the dressmaker too. Oh, I was so particular. It was never quite good enough. At last, she said she refused to touch it anymore or she might spoil it. And I made her leave so I could examine myself in the mirror. I was so pleased and vain. I thought to myself, even if your nose and mouth and ears are too large, your eyes and hair and figure and your hands make up for it. You're just as pretty as any actress he's ever met. And you don't have to use, and I don't have to use paint. Where is that wedding gown now? I wonder. I kept it wrapped up in tissue paper in my trunk. I used to hope I would have a daughter, and when it came time for her to marry, she couldn't have bought a lovelier gown. And I knew, James, you'd never tell her, never mind the cost. You'd want her to pick up something at a bargain. It was made of soft, shimmering satin, trimmed with old lace, in tiny ruffles around the neck and the sleeves, and worked in with those folds that drape round in a bustle effect at the back. The bast was boned and very tight. I remember I held my breath when it was fitted where my waist would look as small as possible. My father even let me have Duchess lace on my white satin slippers and lace with the orange blossoms in my veil. Oh, how I love that gown. It was so beautiful. Where is it now? I wonder. I used to take it out from time to time when I was lonely, but it always made me cry. So finally, a long while ago, I wonder where I hid it. Probably in one of the old trunks in the attic. Someday I'll have to look.
The next monologue comes from the play The Glass Menagerie by Tennessee Williams. And in this scene, Amanda Wingfield, who will be played by Glenda Goodeau, is anxiously awaiting the arrival of her son and his friend. She's hoping her son's friend will take an interest in her daughter Laura, who is painfully shy. Amanda, who was never shy, talks to her daughter Laura about her own youth.
going to show you something. I'm going to make a spectacular appearance. Possess your soul in patience. You will see. Something I resurrected from that old truck. Styles haven't changed so terribly much after all. Now just look at your mother. This is a dress in which I led the cotillion, won the cakewalk twice at Sunset Hill, wore one spring to the governor's ball in Jackson. See how I sashayed around the room? Laura? I wore it on Sunday for my gentleman callers. I had it on the day I met your father. I had malaria fever all that spring. The change of climate from East Tennessee to the Delta. Weakened resistance. I had a little temperature all the time. Not enough to be serious though. Just enough to make me restless and giddy. Invitations poured in. Parties all over the Delta. Stay in bed, Mother said. You have a fever. But I just wouldn't. I took quinine but kept on going. Evenings, dances, afternoons, long rides, picnics, lovely. So lovely, that country in May, all lacy, the dogwoods, literally flooded with jonquils. That was the spring I had the craze for jonquils. Jonquils became an absolute obsession. Mother said, honey, there's no more room for jonquils. And still, I kept on bringing in more jonquils. Whenever, wherever I saw them, I'd say, stop, I see jonquils. It was a joke. Amanda and her jonquils. Finally, there was no more basis to hold them. Every available space was filled with jonquils. And then I met your father. Malaria fever, jonquils, and then this boy. I hope they get here before it starts to rain.
Just one? Just one chair? Yeah, just one chair. So next we'll have a scene from the play The Trip to Bountiful by Horton Foote. In this play, Mrs. Watts, who will be played by Mary Lou Rainey, is at the bus station. She's been living with her son Ludi and his wife Jessie Mae. She is unhappy living with them, so she runs away, trying to get back to her hometown of Bountiful, Texas. Her son has called the police looking for her, and now the sheriff, played by Evan Wilks, has arrived.
Mrs. Watt?
Yes, sir. Are you the sheriff?
Yes, ma'am.
I understand my son will be here around 7:30 to take me back to Houston.
Yes, ma'am.
Now listen to me, sir. I waited a long time just to get to Bountiful. 20 years I've been walking the streets of the city lost and grieving. And as I've grown older and my time approaches, I've made one promise to myself, to see my home again before I die. I'm not asking that I not go back. I'm willing to go back. Only let me travel those 12 miles first. I have money I can pay.
I think that's between you and your son.
Louis, why he's got to do whatever Jessie Mae tells him to. I know why she wants me back. It's for my government check.
I don't know anything about that. That's between you and your son.
Oh,
Not unless your son takes you.
all right. I guess I've lost. I've come all this way only to lose. I kept thinking back there day and night in those 2 rooms. I kept thinking, and it may mean nothing to you, but I kept thinking that if I could just set foot there for a minute, even a second, I might get some understanding of why why my life has grown so empty and meaningless. Why I've turned into a hateful, quarrelsome old woman. And before I leave this earth, I'd like to recover some of the dignity, the peace I used to know. For I'm going to die. And Jessie May knows that. And she's willful. And it's her will I die in those 2 rooms. Well, she won't have her way. It's my will to die in Bountiful.
Mrs. Watts.
Let me go those 12 miles before it's too late. Understand me. Suffering, I don't mind. Suffering, I understand. I never protested once, though my heart broke when those babies died. I could stand to see the man I love walk through life with another woman. But this 15 years of bickering, endless, petty bickering, it's made me just like Jessie May sees me. It's ugly. I won't be that way. I want to go home. I want to go. I want to go.
Roy, call the sheriff.
No, 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 no doctor. No doctor, no doctor. Bountiful, bountiful.
Very good.
Next, we have a monologue from the play The Lower Depths by Maxim Gorky. This play takes place in Russia in the early 1900s in a boarding house where many very poor people live together. When an old man named Luca comes to the boarding house, he tries to help the others see a better way to live their lives. He does this by telling stories. Chuck Schön will play Luca, and I will play Natasha.
Somebody has to be kind, my girl. We have to feel sorry for people. Christ felt sorry for everybody and bid us do the same. Believe me, feeling sorry for a man at the right moment can do a lot of good. One time, for instance, I was a watchman in a country home in Siberia near Tomsk, working for an engineer, you know. Well, the house stood in the woods all by itself. No other homes around. It was winter and I was all alone in the house. I felt fine. One day I hear noises at a window.
Burglars?
That's right, trying to break in. Well, I picked up my rifle and went out. I look around and there I see 2 men trying to open the window and working so hard at it that they didn't even notice me. I shouted at them, "Hey you, get out of here." And what did they do? They turn around and rush at me with an axe. I warned them, "Keep away," I say, "or I'll shoot." And at the same time, I covered them with my rifle. Now one, now the other. Down on their knees they went as if begging me to let them go. But by now I felt very cross with them for the axe, you know. "You devils wouldn't go away when I told you," says I. "Now," says I, "break off some twigs from a tree. One of you." That was done, and now I order one of you lie down and let the other lash him with the twigs. So by my order, they gave each other a fine lashing. And after they did it, they say to me, "Grandpa," they say, "for mercy's sake, give us some bread. We've been tramping around on an empty belly." So there are your burgers, my dear. and with an axe too. Yes, fine fellows they were, both of them. I say to them, you devils should have asked for bread right away. And they answer me, we're tired of asking. It makes you feel pretty sore. And so they stayed with me right through the winter. One of them, Stephen, would take a rifle sometimes and go into the woods for days. The other, Yakov, was poorly, coughed all the time. And so the three of us kept watch over that country house. When spring came, they said, goodbye, Grandpa, and left to tramp their way to Russia.
Were they runaway convicts?
They were. They ran away from a convict camp. Fine fellows. If I hadn't felt sorry for them, they might have killed me or something. And then they would have been tried, sent to jail, to Siberia. What sense in that? Jail doesn't teach anyone to do good, nor Siberia. But a man, yes. A man can teach another man to do good, believe me.
So next, we're going to present an adaptation of this is a little change in tone here, an adaptation of a Chinese folktale, and our version is called The Magic Gumbo Pot. The whole class is going to take part in this, and we are featuring Diane Walker as Mrs. Thibodeau and Evan Wilks as Mr. Thibodeau.
Here, let me wear it back over my head.
Once upon a time, there lived an old couple named Mr. and Mrs. Thibodeau.
Who you calling old?
We're just well seasoned.
Their children had long ago left home, so all they had was each other, and they were very, very poor. Every day, Mr. Thibodeau would go out to their garden and dig up one sweet potato. And Mrs. Thibodeau would cook it.
Well, here's your breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Thank you, dear. Let's sit in our chair. Back in the day.
They were so poor, they only had one chair.
That wasn't very filling.
True, but at least we got our beta cortisone.
And fiber.
They also had only one blanket, which wasn't big enough to cover both of them at night.
Especially when someone is talking.
Well, at least I don't snore.
And they only had one light bulb.
Which we only use on special occasions.
How many Thibodeaux does it take to screw in a light bulb?
And Mrs. Thibodeau had only one bobby pin for her hair.
I may do.
And they had one $20 bill, which they kept under their mattress.
I really did fun.
And although they enjoyed each other's company very much, each of them secretly wished they had a friend.
I just wish I had someone to share sweet potato recipes with.
And I wish I had somebody to play football with.
One day, Mr. Thibodeau was out digging for their daily sweet potato in their garden.
Oh, this appears to be the last one we got. Let me dig a little deeper, just in case I miss one. What's this? Something solid down here. What could it be? Wow, that's the biggest gumbo pot I ever seen. I think I'll take it home to my wife. Man, that's heavy. Let me drop this sweet potato inside here. Hey, honey, I got good news and bad news.
That's the biggest gumbo pot I've ever seen.
Would you believe it? I found it in the garden.
Is that the good news or is that the bad news?
That's the good news.
All right, then what's the bad news?
The bad news is that the sweet potato I dug up today was the very last one in our garden.
Oh dear. And where is that sweet potato?
I put it in the gumbo pot.
But dear, there's 2 sweet potatoes in here.
Well, I got half. I only put one of those in there.
Darling, are you having a senior moment?
No, I swear. I dug up one sweet potato today, and it was the last one, and I put it in the pot.
Oh, drat.
What now?
I've lost my bobby pin. I think it fell into the pot when I was leaning over it.
I'll find it for you. Yeah, there's 2 bobby pins in here.
2 bobby pins? But I only own 1.
And now you got 2.
Well, let me try something. I'll throw 1 back in. Look! There's 2 bobby pins. Now I've got 3 bobby pins. You know what? I think I might try a new hairstyle.
You know, man, there's something kind of crazy phenomenon going on here in the gumbo pot. Every time we put one thing in, we get 2.
Well, you know what? Let's try to put the blanket in and see what happens.
Look at that, 2 blankets.
Hey, let's try the chair.
Look at that, 2 chairs.
Let's try this light bulb.
Look at that, 2 light bulbs.
Oh, this is so wonderful. I'm so happy.
I'm so happy you did.
What do you want?
Aren't you forgetting something?
Oh, how many Thibodeaux does it take to screw in 2 light bulbs?
No. I mean, isn't there something else you could put in that pot?
Like what? Oh, I know. Our $20 bill.
Look at that, $40.
Oh, put it back. You'll get 80.
And so they continued until they had quite a bit of money.
Yeah, hey, is there anything you'd like me to pick up at the store?
Oh, yes, I've got a list for you.
You call this a grocery list? This looks like a novel.
Well, I've only been working on it for 30 years.
And so Mr. Thibodeau went off to the store, and while he was gone, Mrs. Thibodeau found a pretty little flower outside in the yard and used the magic gumbo pot to make herself a nice bouquet. And when Mr. Thibodeau returned,
All right, honey, got your groceries.
Oh, let me see. I'm so excited. Oh! Yes, I am. Help me out.
Uh-oh.
And now Mr. Thibodeau found that he had 2 wives.
Hello, dear.
Oh,
Hello, dear.
oh, my one wife was enough for me.
Well then, dear, there's only one thing to be done.
You want me to throw her back in?
Oh, no. You'll end up with 3 wives. Well, you know what you have to do, dear? You must jump in the pot yourself.
Jump in myself?
Yes, dear. Yes, dear.
And so, Mr. Thibodeau took a deep breath and jumped into the gumbo pot.
Well, let's see what we have here.
Hello, dear.
Hello, dear.
Well, what shall we all do now? Let's fix some supper. I have a great recipe for sweet potato casserole. Wonderful. Come show me how to cook it.
And so the 2 Mrs. Thibodeaus and the 2 Mr. Thibodeaus all went into the kitchen and cooked some dinner. Then they all sat down together at the table.
This casserole is so delicious. And I can't wait to try your sweet potato pie for dessert.
How about them draft picks?
When I saw that tray, I just about jumped out of my chair.
I hit it. But then again, defense won championship.
And so the first Mr. and Mrs. Thibodeau decided that the second Mr. and Mrs. Thibodeau should live next door. And they used the magic gumbo pot to make the furniture, groceries, housewares for their new neighbors. And they never were lonely again. And they all lived happily ever after.
Think about narrators. Think about narrators. So for one last treat this evening, Miss Glenda Goodeau is going to read a poem that she wrote, which she shared with us in class, and we all enjoyed. And I thought it would be a very appropriate way to end our evening. So here's Glenda Goodeau with her poem, Grace Our Presence.
You grace our presence. Wealth of heritage, you grace our presence. Thy contributions abound with thanksgiving. Joyful deliverances follow thy footsteps. Hooray, hallelujah. To us fondling kindest thoughts, thou hand reached out in mercy, touching around the world, giving, teaching, bringing forth. Generations are blessed by your presence. Salutations and honor bestowed upon your bosom, senior Americans, storehouse of knowledge, golden candlestick still shines, wealth of heritage, you grace our presence.